discussing the issue regarding the Twitter. They made a joint statement which was communicated to us. So we had, very useful discussions. These are countries that we consider to be close friends and partners of Nigeria. So we sat down and reviewed the whole situation and just restated the security concerns of Mr. President and of all Nigerians, and the steps and very strong steps that need to be taken to address the security challenges of the country. They are all living here with us in Nigeria and have a first-hand view and experience of the security challenges we are facing. Of course, also we also discussed the role of social media as a platform. Social media good for communication, dissemination of information, but like everything else, it can be used to do good and it can be used to do bad. And unfortunately, the bad, but social media is often used to commit, has very dire consequences on human lives and property, and in our case also threatened the unity of the country. And so as the responsibility of the government to maintain law and order, to maintain security, and to preserve human life, we have to take every measure to ensure that all those are preserved. And yes, we believe as a democracy in Nigeria, the right to life, the right to your property, ownership. We believe in human rights, freedom of speech, but all that also has to be used where freedom of speech is concerned responsibly. And where that is not the case, the government obviously has to take measures. In some cases, it might be emergency measures. In other cases, through legal steps. So, we've discussed, and I think the partnership, our solidarity with the 5 countries was reaffirmed. They have supported us very strongly in our security challenges, humanitarian crises, development challenges, economic challenges. So we consider these countries as partners, and we are asking for them to also support us as we confront all these other challenges. And we've listened to their opinions. They also have their views on these issues, and we've given them the opportunity to also express those. And as friends and partners, we've exchanged views, and we're particularly gratified with their restatement and reassurance of support and friendship towards Nigeria. So we have to really, I think this is the message, keep an eye on the main objectives of this government. When Mr. President was elected, security was number one on his list of priorities, and it's something that really wants to be able to deliver for Nigeria, because without security, everything else fails. Investments will not come into the country. Lives will be displaced, more irregular migrations out, and it'll be a vicious circle, and we'll all be losers, and our children and generations to come will all be losers. So what we do today will really define the future of this country. And so that is why this government, Mr. President, is absolutely determined that security has to be made, that Nigerians have to live in peace and security, and that we have to keep our country together. So, so as I said, we had very fruitful discussions and listened to each other and clarified a lot of areas to one another. Thank you.
We did speak about the issues of social media, and I think that our concern is to convey that, as President Biden said in his inauguration in January, it is actually when you're in your most troubled times often that our need for individual expression, open public conversations, and accountability is perhaps even greater. But we are here as partners who want to see Nigeria succeed. We want to see this place in a unified, peaceful, and prosperous, and that's how all of our activities are arranged. I think we have to be very clear that we are Nigeria's strong partners on issues of security, and we recognize the daunting times and the array of security challenges that confront Nigeria. While they are daunting, they are not insurmountable, and part of the way that you surmount them is through the partnership of the people that you see represented here, not only in physical security, but in terms of expanding opportunities and promoting mediation and dialogue. This is all very, very important, and we look forward to continuing that partnership with Nigeria and continuing our conversations about important issues of media freedom and the conversation and dialogue that a government aspires to with its people. Thank you.
I think that's obviously, as you yourself said, that there are discussions ongoing with Twitter. So one will see how that progresses. So I cannot say for now the duration of the suspension. The conversations, yes, there are conversations with our partners, and with social media. We want to use social media for good. There's a lot of good that can come out of this communication revolution that we have in the world today, for a lot of very, very good things. And we want, as much as possible as a government, that these platforms and these media should be used for good. And I think that part of the conversations with them will be really towards how to get them really as forces for good, global good. Conditions, the basic condition is really responsible communication. We know the power of words, and power of words for good and power of words for bad. And we really, our condition is really that these, when you have that kind of power to manage and facilitate the communication of billions of people around the world, it has to come with responsibilities. Absolutely has to come with responsibilities. And so we want to, if the conditions would be responsible use of media, and that really has to be it. On a justification, that we're not. There's no. We're not saying that Twitter is threatening the country or any such thing like that, and that is not the justification. The justification is, or why we've taken this measure, is to see to what extent we can rebalance these media as forces of good, and stop them being used as platforms for destabilization and facilitation for criminality and encouragement of criminality. So we do not blame the media themselves. You know, these are very important technological breakthroughs that we're seeing that's, you know, helping to develop the world. But as I have said, it's really ensuring that they are used for no doubt the purposes for which they are created. Differences of opinion is not a problem for us. We're a democracy, you know. We're based on that. Everybody will not think alike, and we accept that. You'll get criticisms and things. But life matters, you know. Nigerian lives matter. And we have to do everything we can to preserve Nigerian lives. And where we feel that those are threatened because, be it technology or whatever, then actions will need to be taken. And then regarding the statements, I think I'll leave that to those who made the statements. China, Saturday, I'm not aware of any meeting with the Chinese authorities in respect of social media or in respect of communication per se. Thank you very much.
We remain firm in our position that the free access to the ability to express oneself is actually very important, and perhaps even more important in troubled times. And so we're glad to hear that they're interacted with Twitter. I will share with you on the question of judicial processes. I will share with you that topic, the topic of the judiciary and judicial processes in Nigeria came up. And, you know, many of the things that His Excellency the Minister is referring to, such as inciting or committing violence, are crimes, and which the government of Nigeria has a legitimate interest in identifying and prosecuting those who commit such crimes, and that we think that we encourage that to use judicial processes within the scope of respect for human rights and the rule of law to constrain that sort of behavior. Thank you.